I think 2002 was a particularly exciting year to be a fan of Robin Williams because this was a year where he was really honing in on these extremely dark roles. Well, to one degree or another, but he had this great trifecta going all in that same year of these darker roles and what we're kind of normally used to seeing from him. There was, of course, Danny DeVito's black comedy Death to Smoochie, where he played the children's show personality who completely breaks down, goes nuts, tries to kill a competing children's show personality played by Edward Norton, in the rhino suit, Smoochie. There was Christopher Nolan's Insomnia, where he played the cold and calculating killer whom Al Pacino is pursuing. Then there was Mark Romanek's 1 Hour Photo, where he plays Cy, the photo guy, Parrish, who is becoming obsessed with this family who he has as a regular customer, who are having their photos developed by him over a course of many years. And I have the Blu-ray here of 1 Hour Photo, but it's probably on Netflix, so definitely check it out. This is a fascinating thriller, and something a little bit different because, while it does have a lot of the elements that you expect from a thriller like this, with an obsessed individual kind of stalking his prey, for lack of a better word. It has all those types of elements. It's very unnerving. It is captivating. It has some very kind of chilling moments too. But it's not the same as most thrillers this way, in the sense that this follows the troubled individual as opposed to the family who is in danger. For the most part of the movie, the family in this movie, they don't really know that they're in danger. So the movie is through the point of view of Cy, the photo guy. It's narrated by him, and the world that we see is the world through his eyes. And it is a fascinating world that, because of this character, because of Williams' great performance here, we're kind of drawn into it, and in some ways, we empathize with this character, despite our better judgment. But that's kind of the beauty of movies, like Anthony Perkins in Psycho. We kind of follow him around and kind of sympathize with him and things like that. So it's kind of an example of that. And definitely you can tell right from the get-go of how different it is, because it's framed in a certain way where we already know right at the very beginning of the movie that he's been taken to jail. So normally in like a thriller like that, the element that we kind of want to see is that we don't know what's going to happen next, right? But here we're like, okay, so apparently this is him looking back on what's led him to this place. So he's going to jail and stuff like that. So, I mean, you don't normally see that. Normally there's supposed to be like an element of unpredictability, but it's not that type of movie, though it still has all those elements that you want to see in a thriller. So that's kind of what makes it such a success, in my opinion. And even right from the very beginning, we see Robin Williams completely looking different. He has like a different hair, he has the glasses, a completely different demeanor. We kind of see him walking up, when they're taking the picture of him for the mugshot. Just even the way he walks, just in the stance that he has. This is a performance that he's just completely tapped into this dark and sad area of human nature that he just perfectly encapsulates with the Cy, the photo guy. So I think it's a great movie, just in the way that we're able to be captivated by this character. We're able to fear for the family at the same time, though we see the family's flaws, particularly the husband, who, Cy takes some issues with down the road, and just kind of see the world through his eyes and see the obsession through his eyes. That's really what it's about. It's a movie about obsession, not so much danger, though there is that, and all that stuff works great. And kind of, what the movie taps into a little bit. I mean, in a weird way, I'd compare this to Falling Down, the Michael Douglas movie from Joel Schumacher, because there's a certain kind of element to these kinds of movies where you kind of think, how much of a man of this type, or any man really, how much is he defined by his profession, and with Falling Down, of course, we had Michael Douglas, who was, someone who worked in defense, the license plate, defense. That's a great movie too, by the way. Check that out. where he worked for defense during the Cold War, and all of a sudden the Cold War's over, he's out of the job, and he lacks that identity, and that's kind of what we're sensing is a thing that's coming to pass with Cy the Photo Guy. This is 2002, right? So I mean, this is the dawn of the digital age. Today, you can take a picture with the camera, you can share it with a million people, in 5 seconds. Not like back in the day when you took those disposable cameras, or maybe a professional camera if you're a professional photographer. You have to bring it to the photography lab, you have to have it developed. That was something in 2002 that was just going by the wayside. That was a thing of the past pretty much at that time. And digital media was kind of up and coming. DVDs were the norm. Even in movie theaters, I mean, think about how not even that long ago it was, 2002. This is the year where a crazy filmmaker named George Lucas kind of decided, hey, what if we project movies digitally? And everyone thought that was crazy, and now you can't find a movie theater without digital projection, but that's another story. But it's kind of this type of technology, this type of work, this type of profession that is kind of slowly dying, and we see the love for that profession through this character, like through his narration, which is beautiful narration. How he talks about the process of it, talks about what he encounters in his job and everything like that. And I think the movie was done in such a way where it can feel like it is being done in hindsight, where during that time they still existed. Now maybe they do, I don't even know. If a 1 hour photo lab's really, maybe somewhere in like a pharmacy somewhere you can find one, I don't know. There's got to be still those disposable cameras at weddings, maybe for like novelty purposes only now, but it's not what it was then, and certainly not what it was at the time even. So it was sort of this profession coming to an end, and if a man is defined by his profession, if he's defined by his work, and then he loses that definition, who is he as a man? All that kind of stuff is kind of in the subtext of this movie, but where we really see the focus lies in his obsession with his family and him following them around, and just this kind of sad life of this sad character. But at the same time, I think Williams brings him to such a great life that we can't help but look away, even in some of the most uncomfortable parts. Like there's that one part where we see him break into their house and just kind of sit around, use the bathroom, crack open a beer, and we're thinking, what the hell is going on? Then it turns out it's a fantasy sequence, which is kind of interesting too. So we see inside his mind. Then it all ultimately comes to where comes to what brought him to where we see him in the beginning, which I won't give away. This is, I would say, spoiler free for the most part. So we see all that, and the thing is, I mean, he's not a particularly violent or dangerous type of person, but he's kind of pushed to the edge just because of certain factors that come into play during the plot and things that the husband does. So there's a lot of that, and the kid is very sweet around him, and he's like, "Oh, call me Uncle Cy," and things like that. It's just an unnerving but just captivating movie. I love this movie. I think it's fantastic, and it features one of Williams' best performances. This is absolutely, I'd say, top 3 best Robin Williams performances, without a doubt. So I'd rate 1 Hour Photo 4 stars out of 4. This is a thriller that delivers all the elements that you'd expect from such a movie, but just a little more, and it's done in such a different way that it makes it something truly unique. So it's my review of 1 Hour Photo. It's probably on Netflix, but I'd strongly recommend, if you can find the Blu-ray, definitely give it a purchase, because I got this. I think I got this for $5 off Amazon.com. Definitely a bargain for one, a Blu-ray, two, a movie of this caliber. I mean, it's not like a bargain bin type of movie. So if you can find it for $5, hey, go for it. But if not, it's probably on Netflix. So that's my review for today. I hope you enjoyed watching. As always, be sure to comment, rate, subscribe, all that good stuff. Visit Derek237.com. And until next time, I'll see you later.